What's going on, everyone? This is the end of week number 4 on my cut. Can't believe it's already 4 weeks in already. That's absolutely crazy to me. This time's just flying by. And my progress has been pretty good. Overall, it's been really good. I've been doing pretty fantastic on sticking to my diet, doing what needs to be done, getting my workouts in, getting my steps in, all those bases that need covered. I feel like I've been doing pretty good on. My calories, as I've mentioned before, I've been sticking somewhere between like 1,800 and 2,000 calories. As I've mentioned, the reason I do that is I like to shoot for 1,800, but I like to have a little bit of room in there in case I do get snacky at the end of the day or sometime during the day. That extra couple hundred calories, I have a few things that I can just throw in there that make it a lot easier on me. So 2,000 calories is still a pretty good deficit for me anyway, with the amount of steps I get most days and my working out. So yeah, it's really good. So I do that, and I've been sticking right around that 1,800 calorie mark. I think average outside of my days that have been untracked, because I, like today, I'll tell you about that in a minute, but I think I stick around 1,900 calories for the most part. So no big deal, or that's pretty great as far as the cut goes. I'm doing that at least 6 days a week. As far as my average goes, some days will be a little bit lower, some a little bit higher. But even if I stick to 1,800 calories a couple days and then a couple days at like 2,100 calories, it's still going to even out to, 1950. So no worries there. It all averages out in the end. But my steps, for the most part, I'm averaging 16, 17,000 steps. My goal is 10,000. So I've absolutely been crushing that for the last couple weeks. It's nuts. And yeah, all I'm doing is, as soon as I get up every morning or evening, whenever I get up for the day, one of the first things I do after waking up is going on a walk, and usually walk for about an hour. I have a route that I take around town. It takes me about an hour to do it. Usually I'll just throw in some headphones, listen to a podcast or an audio book, whatever, and get on my way. Recently, the podcast I've been listening to on my walks is an old one. I don't think they've been keeping up on it anymore. I'm just listening to old episodes. It's the Nutrition Coaching Secrets podcast with Jason Phillips. That's the institution that I'm certified through for nutrition coaching, and he talks a lot about building a nutrition coaching business on there. But it's been pretty good. Right now I'm reading. I'm not listening to it on audiobook. I have it on audiobook, but I'm reading How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I think I'm about 3/4 of the way through it right now. It's pretty awesome. Pretty fantastic. If you haven't read it before, highly recommend it, especially if you want to get better at communicating with people. And when I say getting better at communicating with people, I'm not talking about your vocabulary or the things you actually say, but the things you go into the conversation thinking about is what it's mostly about. One of the biggest things I've picked up on it so far, there's a lot of a lot of lessons in it that can be applied, but if I had to just give an overall statement, I'd say it's just like, show interest in other people and be a good listener. Just ask about them and listen, so that you be an active listener, so that you can remember those details and refer back to them. People love talking about themselves, especially when you ask them specific questions about themselves. I actually found myself using a couple of the things that I read in the book to have some conversations with people in my life that I don't always enjoy conversing with. I think it's okay to say that. We've all got people that we don't necessarily like to talk to, but I have used those lessons to have some good conversations, and I kind of use them in a way to direct the conversation into things that I would enjoy talking to them about, but about them, not about me. So maybe that makes me a terrible person, maybe not, I don't know, but it's whatever. Anywho, so yeah, I'll just listen to a podcast, audiobook, something while I'm walking, get my hour walk in. I'll usually get about 70, or not 70, about 7,000 steps first thing in the first hour I'm awake. And then while I'm at work, I'll usually walk around a bit since I work overnights. I've got a lot of downtime in my job, so I'll just walk laps around the office, inside the office when nothing's going on. But let's see, what else? My workouts have been pretty good. I've been keeping up on them for the most part. I haven't been hitting my 6 days a week for a little while. I've found it pretty difficult working these overnights, and not only no overnights, it's 12-hour shifts. I do really well about getting my workouts in on my days off, but sometimes on the days I work, trying to get all my steps and my workout in. So I have been prioritizing my steps because that's going to be my biggest contributor to my daily energy expenditure. So I'm burning more calories. My workouts, I don't burn that many calories, but I get enough workouts in on my days off at minimum to, continue to grow a little bit, but at minimum maintain what I have put on over the last few years. So I'm prioritizing my steps over my workout. And that's just me. I'm not saying that's better or anything. That's just, I feel like that contributes to my current goals better. But of course, I don't want to completely stop working out because I want to be working those muscles. Don't want them to start to atrophy. I know it takes a really long time too, but us gym rats, we're scared about losing our gains. But yeah, it's been fantastic. This week, what else? I'm seeing some consistent weight loss from this. I haven't really talked much about my weigh-ins or anything. While that is the goal, is I'm trying to reduce body fat. By that I'm gonna lose weight because I'm gonna be able to lose my body fat much faster than I'm putting on muscle. Especially with only getting a few workouts, 3 to 5 workouts a week. Yeah, so I just prioritize that for myself. But I haven't been talking about my weight. While that is pretty much what I'm working on, I'm also paying attention, focusing on just making sure the cut goes well, that I can stick to it, and that I don't just completely fall off the wagon. That I try to make sure that I don't have these overwhelming urges to just eat everything around me. And I do that by, a couple years ago, I would hear people saying this, and I'd be like, that doesn't make any sense. The problem here is that I'm in a calorie deficit. I'm just hungry all the time. That's not going to help. But I'm eating foods that I enjoy, that I would have cut out in the past. I'm allowing myself to have them in smaller amounts, but because I'm not just telling myself I can't have them, I'm not necessarily craving them as bad. So for example, with that, I was at work the other week, and we had like a birthday celebration at our staff meeting, and there were some cookies left over from it. And there was one particular type of cookie in this batch that was like a turtle brownie cookie. Sounded absolutely delicious. I mean, I don't know about you all, turtle brownies are one of my jams. Love those things. Caramel, nuts, all that, so good. Weakness of mine. Brownies, I love brownies. Anyway, so this sounded delicious, and I was like, I'm not gonna have any cookies because I've got my meal prep and everything, got my calories for the day. I don't need a cookie. So at first I told myself no, and I do that. I will resist at first, but I'll pay attention, and if that urge continues to nag at me, and sometimes I'll resist a second time, but if it continues to, I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna have a cookie now. It's just, I don't tell myself I 100% cannot have the cookie. I'm gonna have a cookie if it's that bad. If I feel that it's that important that I have a cookie, I'm gonna have one, and it's gonna set me 150 250 calories over what I was gonna eat for the day, but I'm still gonna be in a pretty decent deficit, and I'm not gonna go home, sit there bored, and binge on an entire pack of cookies, because I let myself have that one cookie, so I'm satisfied. I got to taste it, I'm good. And it keeps my keeps my urges under control. In the past, when I've told myself I can't, 100% can't, I would resist and resist and resist, and then I would go overboard. Unfortunately, I have a perfect example of what had happened, and this kind of opened my eyes to some issues I was developing at the time. So I sitting at work one day, this is a couple years ago, and we had some pizza brought in to us, and it was sitting there on the center table in the office. I can smell it. I'm like, I'm not gonna eat it. I can't fit pizza into my diet. I mean, I could probably do a piece if I wanted, but I've got my meal prep. I'm good. Kept telling myself no. Kept telling myself no for about an hour. I could smell this pizza, and I'm gonna tell you, that pizza smelled absolutely amazing. It smelled like the best pizza in the world. So finally, I caved, and I'm just like, whatever. I'm gonna go have a piece of pizza because this is insane. I could smell it. It smells amazing. Well, that one piece of pizza quickly became 5 pieces of pizza. You know what I mean? Like, you tell yourself no, 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 and then you yell at yourself, and you're like, screw it, whatever. You go overboard. It's like, well, one piece already set me overboard, and now I'm just gonna, gorge myself. And I did. And it's like, as soon as I sat back down after having 5 pieces of pizza, the kind of mental anxiety set in, like telling myself, you're a failure, can't believe you couldn't hold out, you're a fat, lazy piece of crap, and you're never going to be able to reach your goals, because, all that stuff, all the negative thoughts that start rolling in due to that. And I was like, and on top of that, my stomach was just feeling queasy too. And I don't think the pizza actually made my stomach feel queasy. I think it was part of that like anxiety type thing, to where it was just making me feel queasy. I can't say for sure, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm a person, I've never had issues with anxiety or depression, nothing like that. I've never suffered from any of that. So my guess is just that because I was thinking about dwelling on it so much, it made me feel queasy. So I was like, oh man, that was a lot of calories. Like, that sent me over. I can't believe I did that. But if I could go throw up, then those calories won't be in, that food won't digest. I'll be good. I won't have those calories in me anymore. Be solid. And I told myself, no, you're not going to go make yourself throw up. That's not going to. Next thing I know, I'm in the bathroom, sticking my fingers down my throat, trying to make myself throw up. Not my proudest moment there. Not at all. Luckily, I say luckily, apparently I don't have a very good gag reflex, because I had my fingers like way back there and I could not make myself throw up. It wasn't happening. So I gave up, went back to work, and didn't think anything else of it the rest of the night. But the next day, or the next couple days, I started thinking a lot about that. I was like, man, that's not good. That I let myself think that, and that I let myself act upon those thoughts to go try to make myself throw up. I mean, that's bulimia right there. If I start doing that, and I don't want a full-fledged eating disorder. I don't want to have to deal with that at all. And so I recognized that pretty quick. I was like, something's got to change. I got to figure out a way to not do this. So, and it didn't happen overnight. I'd say this is the first time I've been on a lengthier cut. And by lengthier, I mean more than like 1 or 2 weeks, to where I'm not overwhelmed with my cravings. Now, I will say today, the end of week 4, day 28 on my cut, I did go overboard with my stuff, but I didn't have any of my meal prep. I did my meal prepping today. I ate with Lacey and the kids all day. I just ate basically whatever they were eating today. We had some burgers last night, some homemade burgers, and I did eat like 3 burgers, man. I sauteed some mushrooms, got me some Swiss cheese. I had a mushroom and Swiss burger, got me some delicious Kinder sauces. They were fantastic. You know what? I'm going to weigh in tomorrow, and I'm going to be quite a bit heavier. Plus, on top of that, backtrack a little, I had a big bowl of ice cream that I've talked about how I love to do. Ice cream with peanut butter, peanuts, brownies, the caramel syrup, throw some Cinnamon Toast Crunch on top of it. I go all out when I do a bowl of ice cream. Had that too. So I just know tomorrow I'm going to weigh in quite a bit heavier. I don't care though. One day so each week I've given myself an untracked meal so far, and I haven't went that overboard for 3 weeks straight. So I think this one time in 4 weeks of going fully overboard, it's okay. Like there's this book, I haven't had the pleasure to read it yet, but I kind of get the concept of that 80-20 rule. And I've heard people talk about the 80-20 in the health and fitness. And yeah, as long as you're good 80% of the time, that other 20% is not going to hurt you. So, even if I was doing this one day every week, eventually I would get to the point to where it really starts affecting me. But right now, I'm not doing it every week, and I've got a decent amount of weight to lose that I've built up over the last year or so. So I'm good. I'll lose this weight pretty easily. Now, once I start getting a little bit leaner, then that's a different story. But anywho, so overall, fantastic week. My weight has come down quite a bit over this last 4 weeks now. We are 4 weeks in. Again, I don't have any end date on this cut. I'm just looking to try to finally get leaner than I have been. So previously I got down to 199, and I was starting to look pretty good. That was my first year losing weight. I went from 290 down to 199 in 1 year exactly. And I was looking pretty great. I'd been working out and stuff, but since then I've eaten somewhat in a surplus most of the time and worked out consistently and gotten pretty strong. So I know I've put on a decent amount of muscle mass this last 2 years. So I want to see it. I want to see what I look like leaner. And right now the goal, because I don't know what I need to weigh to look somewhat lean, so right now the goal is get back down to 200, sub 200, see what I look like then, reassess, and then I'm guessing I'll probably have to shoot for maybe 190, maybe even 185, 180, who knows. I'm not sure, because I have no idea what I'm going to look at like at any weight, because it's been so long since I've weighed that little. So that's the goal right now. That's what I'm working towards, just so you guys kind of know what I'm doing. This week also, I had the pleasure of helping an extended family member kind of guide them along. They've started a weight loss journey, and they were getting kind of down on themselves about, I guess they've been at it for 4 months now and haven't lost a lot. So I was able to provide some advice and some tips, and seemed very well receptive. I'm going to check in with her, a little ways down the road, see if she's been doing those things and how they've been helping her. Not working with her as a client, but I'm always happy to talk to people and help them out, guide them in the right direction. There's so much stuff that people look at, all these complicated quote unquote sexy answers that everyone looks at, that isn't going to help them where they're at. They just need the basics, and so always happy to help point people in the right direction. But here's to a great week that we've had this week, a great 4 weeks it's been. Here's to the next however many weeks it takes to get where I want to go. Maybe eventually I'll start talking more about my weight. You're not going to see a bunch of shirtless pictures of me. That's not how I am. That's not how I roll. But I will keep you updated on the progress. Maybe one day we'll start talking weight. I don't know. But right now it's just I'm feeling good. Avoiding the cravings, keeping them at bay, eating good, spending time with the family, enjoying myself when I need to, not restricting a whole lot. So yeah, let's keep at this. I'll talk to you guys next week. That's the end of week 4 now. We'll talk to you again for week 5. You have a great week, everyone.